I went on the UK's only battery-powered train to see if it's any good.
Good morning, I am here at London Liverpool Street, the busiest station in the whole of the UK. And today I'm heading down to West Ealing to have a look at the UK's first, and so far only, battery train. So let's go and have a look at that.
I headed down to the Elizabeth line and hopped into a train.
I am now very firmly on the Elizabeth line heading in the direction of West Ealing. However, the train goes all the way to Reading, I don't.
The train soon emerged from the underground section of the Lizzie line, where I realised that I had made an error.
It turns out I'm incompetent and inept, as we have just gone past West Ealing on this train, which apparently doesn't stop there.
So I left the train at Southall and waited.
Our slow train, which stops at Hanwell and West Ealing, is now approaching, so let's get on board that.
The correct train presently pulled into West Ealing and then left, leaving me waiting.
And here I am at West Ealing, a relatively irrelevant stop on the Elizabeth line as it turns out. But I'm here now, and the battery train is soon going to arrive to whisk me away to the likes of Greenford.
The reason as to why I was waiting is because the battery train only operates on one branch line and runs every half an hour. However, with a little patience, it arrived, proudly proclaiming its fast charge capabilities.
We are now on board this Class 230 train, the only battery-powered one in the UK. It's very nice, although I don't have much window. And here we are at our first station, Drayton Green.
Having called at some of the oddest stations in London, which I would have a closer look at later, we crossed a large road and arrived into Greenford.
So this is Greenford, the other end of this very short and unique branch line with this very short and unique train as well. It's very nice. We're going to get off at some stations to have a closer look at the line itself and then, of course, give a proper review of the train.
Having accidentally missed the train, I turned to explaining the line.
So the line on which this battery train operates is actually one of the weirdest in London because trains come every half an hour despite it being quite close to the centre of London, and it only acts as a connection between two railway lines, those being the Central Line and the Elizabeth Line. It used to have far more trains, however, since the introduction of the Elizabeth Line, these have been reduced and it's now just one diesel unit shuttling back and forth. They're looking to replace it with this one, which is currently only running on Saturdays.
The battery unit pulled back into the platforms at Greenford, where I successfully got on board.
So now let me tell you about what there is on board this state-of-the-art battery train. So firstly, we've got these fantastic seats over here. They are blue, even though this is a Great Western Railway branded train, which means it's green, and the seats usually are green, but here they are not. There are various types of seating here in this train. First up, because it is an old London Underground unit, we've got lots and lots of these horizontal ones in which there's just lined up against the wall, and I can sit here and look out of this abnormally small window. We've also got plenty of more conventional bays of 4 here, but that is still not all. There are also these airline style ones which are just 2. We've also got this space here for wheelchair users, and of course along here there is an accessible toilet, the only one on the train. And there are some seats which have got some tape on them and I can't sit on them, very sad. We have got these handles over here which you can grab onto, however they are curved for some reason.
There are also charging points for phones, which is quite convenient, but how about the line on which this train operates? Why did they choose it? Well, to find out, I hopped out at Drayton Green.
So here I am at what used to be London's least used station, Drayton Green. It is on this railway line and sees a service every half an hour each way. Very nice stuff, and it is completely barren.
The station has 2 very short platforms, some benches, and absolutely nothing else of note. With Drayton Green seen, I got back on board for the short, and I mean short, journey to South Greenford, where there was a very large gap. Indeed, the gaps are among several things about the train that do not comply with the UK's accessibility regulations, yet the Rail Minister has exempted this specific train. Anyway, back to the station.
This is South Greenford. There very much isn't anything going on here either, but there is what appears to be a new platform, a slightly older one, and a shelter on stilts. This is a very odd station. I mean, we've got this incredibly steep and rather long ramp, and if you follow me around here, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the departure board, which isn't even on the platform.
Like many stations on the Greenford branch, South Greenford's short platforms limit the Class 230 to 2-car operation, meaning some doors on these 3-car sets remain out of use. Despite this, the line is the ideal testing ground. It is entirely unelectrified, relatively quiet, and short enough that trialling new technology won't disrupt the wider network. The project has already proven its worth, with this specific train breaking the record for the longest journey on a single charge, that being 200 miles, back in August of 2025. The Class 230 utilises a specialised fast charge system to operate on this unelectrified line. When the train reaches the terminus, that being West Ealing, retractable shoes connect to short charging rails situated between the tracks. This process recharges the 3-car train in just 3.5 minutes, allowing for a seamless turnaround. And if the interior feels like the London Underground, that is because they are repurposed 1980s D-stock from the District line. After being retired in 2017, they were converted by Viva Rail. While other Class 230s, like those for Transport for Wales, use a diesel battery hybrid setup, GWR purchased the assets after Viva Rail entered administration. They have since developed this version into the UK's only pure battery electric multiple unit, with the ultimate goal of rolling this zero-emission technology out to other branch lines across Britain.
And that is the battery train. It's very nice, it's very quick, however it does have some problems of course with the step access at some stations. It's not brilliant. I do like it, I would say that I am a fan, and I do hope that this technology gets used further in little branch lines where electrification is of course too costly.